They are
live.
eager today. They were already commenting even before we went live. All right.
There we go. Up on the screen now. So I think it looks like we've got plenty of people. We can kick off.
Kick straight off. Where's that? So, hi everyone. Welcome to the winner announcement session of this year's Knife Making Awards grand finale. We're going to see some of the knives that were entered with photos of all 12 winners across the 4 categories.
Yes, we've got some cracking knives to share with you tonight. And also this year we had more judges put their hand up to help out with the judging than any year of the awards previously. So if you win a prize or not, hopefully you've got some valuable feedback out of this either way.
Absolutely. I can even see some of the judges in the comments. So that's amazing. Before we start showing you winning knives, we'll quickly just do introductions. If you've been with us since the start, this will go real quick for you. I'm Riley. I run all the events for Nordic Edge. It means that I talk a lot and do very little. And I have got along with some shows, as can be attested by anyone who was at Waterfall Road. I ground a knife on the weekend, mostly. I grounded a bit, did some grinding. It's been really fun working on the awards, particularly with Kev, who's an excellent co-host. I've had a number of them. Yeah, Kev.
Yes. So for those who don't already know, I'm Kevin Room, the head judge of the awards this year. I don't know if it's a generous title or not, but I'm obviously the president of the Australian Knife Makers Guild. So I'm really pleased that the guild could be represented in this way and give some good feedback. And yeah, judging the winners that you're all going to see tonight. It's been a lot of fun hosting the live streams with Riley, and yeah, really pleased with how many guild members actually put their hand up to help out this year.
Checks in the mail, mate. Checks in the mail. This is the 5th year of us running these awards. We started them in lockdown in 2020 as something fun to do while sitting at home and all the shows were off. That was sort of the start of something bigger, and that's where we ended up where we are. We've got all this feedback. We've got all these prizes. It's a hell of a thing. So on the last night of our 5th year, we can safely say we've had some really beautiful knives come through for judging. And hopefully we encourage some new makers to go out and make a physical knife, whether that's a knife from Kit, an outdoor knife, a chef knife, or a best in show knife. We're just glad that everybody's getting involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Some stats on the awards this year for those interested. We've had a total of 40 knives entered across the 4 categories, which is, I think, a really fantastic turnout. The most popular categories were best in show and the best beginner outdoor knife. I think the slide up there, I think we had 13 in each of those categories. So fantastic turnout, and thank you all for submitting your entries. Doesn't work without you.
Beautiful. So I think it might be time to see some winning knives.
I think so.
So this year, our first category is best knife from Kit. They're from makers who bought kits, ready-made blades, and they're being judged on the handle making and how little damage they did to the finished knife while putting the handle on. This year, I think we had 4 entries. Yeah, we had 4 entries. And we'll go through that in a minute. We decided to judge them in the category they've been entered. This is a brand new makers, and between the three of them, they had made a total of 5 knives. So I actually judged this category as a Nordic Edge participant. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so making the handle is the key part of every knife. Some say the blade makes the knife and the handle sells it. And what the judges are looking for here are how the knife looks overall. So the materials used, but most importantly, it's about execution. How well is the handle shaped, as well as how well it's finished. Are there scratches on the spine? Are the pins looking good? And you know, what were the handled materials like themselves? Were they, treated with respect? So the judging team for the best kit knife is made up of some of the admin team from the Australian Beginner Knife Making Group on Facebook. So it was the only award where the guild wasn't the main judges of it. So the judges were Bjorn and Riley from Nordic Edge, who are the organisers of the competition, as well as Paul Ariston from Smoko Design, who sponsored one of the prizes for tonight. Troy Hageman from On the Mark Engraving is another experienced knife maker and a sponsor of the awards, as well as our guest tonight, Tony Earwaker, who is going to come on in a little bit to talk about his experience with the judging itself. Back to you, Riley, with the knives.
All right, as always, we're going third to first, and in the start of this year's third place club, a hotly contested contest. Third prize in best knife from kit category this year goes to Will Mead from French's Forest, New South Wales. Will is a chef, has been making knives for a few years, having always enjoyed woodworking and metalworking, so decided to start making on his own. He regularly attends the open forging nights at Nordic Edge in Sydney, and decided to enter a kit knife last minute. The knife here is a Breezer Warncliffe in 80C RV2. Will made the handle scales from layered green and black micarta with a brass pin and lanyard tube. Scored well on material selection for a bushcrafter, as well as flow and fit for purpose. The judges noted that this was executed well. If wanting a higher score next year, he might consider adding some more complex elements to his handle. Well done, Will. You're the first winner of the night.
Congratulations, Will. Well done. Now, we are only going to show this once. I think it's up on the screen. But all our 12 winners today will get the 2024 awards trophy. A nice little reminder from the competition, and it'll be sent out together with each of the winners' prizes from our sponsors. Now, the prize itself is sponsored by 84 Engineering, and Will is going to get a $100 gift card towards whatever he wants from 84 Engineering, grinders, accessories, abrasives, whatever he wants on 84engineering.com.au. Well done, Will.
Amazing.
Second prize.
Second prize. So the second prize of this category goes to Benedict Flannery. Ben started making knives in January 2024 and has completed 5 knives from scratch this year. For the awards, he completed a kit knife consisting of a Scandi Chef blade in 14C28N stainless with Sydney gum handles and stainless pins. Ben scored highest of the knives entered in this category on design, dimensions, flow, ergonomics, with the contoured handle and tapered front. One of the judges picked up on as an area to improve were scratches visible around the tang. These should be removed with a hard backing before hand sanding the blade. Hand sanding the handle on this occasion. Overall, a good effort that scored well with judges.
And for taking second prize in the best knife from kit category, Ben is going to get a handmade leather knife sheath from Christian at Heimdall and Freya Traditional Leathercraft, as well as a trophy for the pool room, of course. And now the big one.
Now the big one. First place in best knife from kit category goes to Darren Carruthers from Mount Crosby in Queensland. This is only Darren's third knife, having made 1 kit knife and 1 forged knife before. The knife is made with a Breezer Walker ready-made blade, as well as Burl and G10 in the handle. Darren scored high on technical complexity, having taken on fitting a metal bolster or guard to the blade, as well as the contoured and comfortable looking handle. Judges commented positively on taking several complex elements on so early in his making, but that blade to guard fit up could be even better with practice. Overall, it's a really nice knife, winning best knife from kit category this year.
And for taking out the first prize in the best knife from kit category, Darren's going to take home a custom folding knife kit from Smoko Design. Paul Ariston behind Smoko Design has put together this kit blade and the folding knife components, as well as handle materials and a printed set of instructions. Sweet little knives these are. I was playing with one on the weekend, so congratulations.
Wonderful. Well done, Darren. That concludes our first category. We're now going to move into the other categories where the maker is judged on the entire knife, including the blade. And before we introduce the judging panel for those next 3 categories, I wanted to take a moment and just thank the Guild again for partnering with us for the awards this year, rather than just getting a trophy or not getting a trophy. When entering the awards, you also receive detailed scores across a range of criteria. And we know this is something that makers taking part keep saying they appreciate. Most of the judges at the awards across both Best Knife from Kit and other categories are actually in the Guild and volunteering their time to help.
And that's what we're here for. So the Guild is here to support and encourage knife making in Australia, and using the experience we have in the Guild to help new and experienced makers improve. And that's part of why we're in the Guild. We want to improve the community overall. We're going to share some of the judging feedback tonight when we show the winning knives, as we've been doing with the Kit knives. Then all makers taking part are going to receive all the judging feedback from their category in an email tonight or tomorrow, together with all of the scores. So you will get everything. You won't see it all tonight, but you will get it all. And we're doing what we can, judging from your photos. So we've done our best. But if you do want to get more personalised feedback, please reach out to your state rep or one of the judges here, and ask them for feedback. And if joining the Guild after this is something that you're interested in, the links will be up there for the website. It's what we're all about. So please ask us questions and get involved if you're interested.
All right, so we're going to go through the judges who volunteered their time this year and be prepared for a rock star list of judges. So we had Sean McIntyre, Rod Hoare, Kevin Room, if you can believe it, Mark Barrett, Warwick Edmonds, as well as the rockstar list of Jackson Rumble, Mark Sinclair, Lee Barker, and Tony Earwaker. And that is most of the state reps in the country. There's only a couple who aren't state reps in that list. So that is an incredible lineup of judges. We're very experienced, and not only that, but Sean and Jackson are actually ABS Mastersmiths now that we have 3 of those in Australia. So speaking of Tony Earwaker, Tony is joining us as a guest today, as well as having judged 3 of the 4 categories in the awards this year. Tony, you're no stranger to the awards, having hosted it yourself as head judge in 2022.
And, hey guys, hey Tony, really appreciate you putting your hand up as both the Guild judge and as part of the admin team for the Facebook group. So what's for you? Why are you keen to be part of the awards and help the judging? What's your?
Like I said earlier, Kev, it's good as Guild members to help out people that want to join the Guild, I suppose, for example, and just to help people improve on their knives, I suppose. Give little tips away and give people a few clues on how to improve their knives.
Now, not many people would know this, but unless you're in the Guild, but we actually do have 2 state reps in Queensland because of the distance. I'm the one for South Queensland, but you're obviously up there in the North Queensland. Do you have people reaching out to you up in the north there as the Guild representative who are wanting feedback on their knives and wanting to join from up there?
Yeah, quite a bit, mate. We've got looking basically from guys from Rocky up through past Cairns now, so. And I hold a hammering, as you know, every year. So guys from all around Queensland are coming up for it now. And it's been good. I only took over as the North Queensland rep last year to help you out. And
it's been a big help.
It's been good.
Having assessed a lot of knives as the state rep and also done the assessments for these awards a couple of times now, and obviously one of them you're assessing the knife in person and one of them's from photographs. What would you say the main differences in that judging process are?
The biggest thing with judging this competition, I suppose, is the photos. Like, I noticed some of the guys in the photos only had one side of the knife photographed. They didn't show the front of their guard, so we couldn't see guard fit up. Some of the contours and handles were a bit hard to sort of see. The lengths of particular items were hard to see. some reflection scratches along the spine, that sort of thing. Like, whereas when we look at them in person, we can actually see the whole knife. Like we can see how sharp it is. We can test how sharp it is. For example, we can look at scratches down the spine. One guy wrote in his comments that the knife wasn't sharp in this competition, and I actually put a comment in there: well, if the knife's not sharp, it's not a knife. So I had to mark him down for that. Like, as far as I'm concerned, a knife has to be sharp, and otherwise it's not a sharp. It's not a knife, sorry. So, yeah.
It is a fundamental point. Having said that, though, I know for me personally there were a few, but were there any makers popping up on your radar from the judging that you hadn't been on your radar before?
Yeah, there was, and one of them's going to pop up soon, I guess, in the winners category. Made a beautiful knife, and he said that he was still I think he wrote a part-time maker or not a very good maker. Like, to me, it was a fantastic knife. It was a takedown. I reckon it was probably one of the better knives I've seen this year. There's Crewmire, there's Sandmire knives, there was a Fred Flintstone knife. Like some of the things that were just blew me away. Like very good to judge.
Sing out when we see that knife so we can tell him he's not a beginner anymore.
Yeah, well, I wrote that in his comments too.
Yeah.
Good. Well, on that, we should crack on before the red light starts blinking over here.
Let's do it.
So our next category we're going to announce is the best beginner outdoor knife, which is always a hotly contested category. Last year, this was the most popular category. This year, it matched with best in show at 13 knives entered. Category is unique as it requires a metal guard or bolsters to be attached to the blade for added difficulty.
And it's the only category for beginners where the maker makes both the blade and the handle as opposed to the kit knife category. And the beginner part is really there to give new makers a chance to shine. And there were a lot of really good knives coming in again this year. And we're looking forward to sharing the top 3 with you now.
Today on the live stream, we're only going to show a picture or 2 of each winning knife on the slides. If you want to have a closer look, these photos will be up on the Nordic Edge blog tomorrow, together with a link to this live stream. We encourage all makers who took part in the awards to post their knife in our Facebook group so that, maybe people want to see more photos of your knife from, oh man, I'd love to see your guard or whatever. So keep an eye out. So much work has gone into them. We'd love to see more of them. All right, Kev, what do we got?
Rightio. Third prize for the best beginner outdoor knife category goes to Steve Opie. Steve is really taking to knife making, having only started in September 2023. Geez, it's not long at all. And having made a total of only 6 knives, he went all in for this beginner outdoor knife category. As you can see, he's done a great job attaching brass bolsters on the blade from 1084 carbon steel using ebony and brass pins in the handle. The judges scored Steve's knife high on grinds being properly executed. That was very nice. Several judges commenting on doing so well after having made only a handful of knives, and I definitely agree with that. The judges did comment on a small gap between the bolsters and the blade that Steve can work on for next time, but overall, judges were impressed with this one, and I can see why.
Absolutely. And for taking out third prize in this category, Chris also wins a $100 gift card from 84 Engineering. You and the team at 84 have sponsored the awards for a few years now. They're always a popular prize. Who doesn't want some free stuff for their knife making, eh? And they now stock, abrasives and a whole plethora of accessories. So great prize.
Yes.
Who's next, Kev?
Who's next? In second place for the best beginner outdoor knife category, we have Casey McCulley from Queensland. Casey says he's only been making knives for 2 years, and this is the first time he's taking part in these awards. The knife he's made is in N690 stainless steel, and the handle's a hidden tang frame construction, or a frame tang construction, with brass guard and liners, G10 core, and some really nice fat carbon scale material. Quite a technical handle there. The total length of the blade, 290 mil. The blade is 135 mil with a 5 mil spine thickness. beautiful knife, nice flowing lines, and it scored high because of this, taking out the second spot. So something to work on that the judges noticed is the edge thickness, showing in the sharpening line a little bit, could be a bit thinner. Also, something several of the judges asked for was a photo showing the blade to guard fit up. If you do it well, show it. Otherwise, maybe we think it's not done so well. You're not. So just not be sure how to score you on the parts if you're not showing it in the photos. So that's obviously a difficult thing for us judges when judging it by photos. Make sure you show the bits you want us to see. Sorry, that was a bit muddled there.
If I could just jump in there too, Kev, that knife there was one of the ones that I sort of marked down a little bit. He probably would have got up for first. So I reckon if he had showed both sides of the knife and the guard fit up. So
fair enough. Good feedback for next time in the competition.
Good feedback.
And what's the prize for this one, Riley?
So we're taking out second prize in Best Beginner Outdoor Knife category. He's won a custom maker's mark from On The Mark Engraving. That means Troy will help with the graphics work if needed and make a logo from your design and make you a 16mm steel stamp for hot stamping your blades with your maker's mark. Putting a name or mark on your knives is a pretty big part of building a brand. So this is a great opportunity. And I noticed there isn't one on that knife. So maybe he doesn't have one yet.
It's definitely in need of one. And I think we're up to the first prize in the Best Beginner Outdoor Knife category. And the first prize goes to Sean Crocos from Victoria. Sean says he's a casual knife maker. He's been making for about 3 years, and he likes doing different styles with every knife rather than focusing on a particular style. The Bowie he's made here is taking out first place. Is made from 1084 carbon steel with a spine thickness of 4.5 mil and an edge thickness of 0.8 mil. The judges really like the grinds on this one, scoring it high on grinds properly executed as well as on the consistency of finish category. Finishing a blade that big to such an even finish takes a lot of work. So well done to Sean. The judges did suggest working on handle designs next, giving the handle a little more palm swell, looking at some Coke bottle handle shapes, as these often fit a Bowie well and are a bit nicer in the hand on a larger blade. Overall, the judges were very impressed with Sean's Bowie, and it's a well-deserved first place. Well done, Sean.
Amazing. And for winning first place in that beginner outdoor knife category, Sean wins a pro photo shoot with Rod Hall. That prize obviously is sponsored by Rod Hall Knife Images and includes professional photos taken and edited of your knife, as well as a copy of the current Australian and New Zealand Knife Makers book, which is an incredible resource for looking at the work that other makers in Australia are doing and New Zealand. Often we give away or sell knives that we are most happy with, and it's really nice to have that moment in time. And I think I talked about this on the photo stream, to capture a moment in time in your making and refer back to that. I think that's really important. So it's a memory that will last you a lifetime.
Yeah, not only that, a lot of Rod's shots are getting in the magazines lately as well, so a bit of exposure if that's what you're after. So well done to all the makers who took part in the outdoor category this year. As we said before, all makers are going to receive their full feedback and scores for their category via email. And if you want more help with your knife making, the Guild is here and you can reach out to the judges if you want it. We've got state reps in all states who can help with reviewing your 3 knives if you are going to go for your probationary membership. Just look us up on the website. Tony, could you let us know what the process to join the Guild is for those wondering?
Yeah, so to join the Guild, you join as a probationary member to start off with, where you present 3 knives to your state rep. State rep will inspect the knives against a 20-point checklist, so to speak. For probationary membership, it's a 50% pass mark. It can be knives of any style or design, the 3 knives for probationary. And then after 12 months as being a probationary member, where you should try and obviously improve on those knives, then you can apply for full membership, where you've got to present another 3 knives to your state member, and those 3 knives are then again to another 20-point checklist. They go up against the criteria, and it's a 90% pass mark then for the full membership. The full membership's knives have to have a metal-to-metal fit up. There has to be a taper tang. There's a few more it's a bit of harder criteria, I guess, that you've got to pass.
You've got to have one of each. Hidden tang and a full tang, and the standard for full membership is much higher.
It's basically 1 point you can lose off each knife.
Yeah.
That is
but yeah, I think the main thing before you go for full membership or even for Proby is to probably talk to your state rep and send them a photo of your knives first, or go and see them first. Just get some, just talk to them about your knives first and see where you're at, and see if they can give you some ideas on where to improve before you put them in for assessment.
And one thing I'd stress, having spoken to quite a few people about joining the guild over the last couple of days at the Waterfill Road Hammering, is probationary isn't something to be overly concerned about. It's the entry level. The passing mark for probationary is 50%. It is not overly daunting if you are passionate about it and you're going about things the right way. It's almost as much about your attitude and your passion for the craft as it is about the knives itself. The full membership is the next step up, but there's no time limit for doing that. You can take as long as you need to take to get to the stage where you feel you're comfortable. But yeah, Proby certainly not overly daunting, and you don't need to tie yourself in knots if you're thinking about going for it.
And I think one of the big things with both membership categories, I guess, is to be able to talk to your rep about your process, how you did your heat treatment, how you finish the knife off, what type of steel it is. Make sure the steel's appropriate for the knife. That if it's a hunting knife or whatever it is, make sure the steel's appropriate and your heat treatment's appropriate. That it's been hardened and tempered properly to suit that style of knife.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Let's crack on with best chef's knife. So this is our first open or advanced category, meaning that any maker at any skill level in Australia or New Zealand is welcome. This means that the level of competition goes up a bit, and that is very clear with how close the competition got this year. Out of the 10 knives entered, the top 6 were all between 6 and 7 points on their scoring, out of a maximum of 8. And due to the level of the knives, they were scored quite critically. And there was less than 5% difference in the scores in the top 3, with number 1 scoring 6.93, number 2 scoring 6.90, and number 3 scoring 6.63. So it's going to be fierce in this top 3. Have you got the first one there?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, those top 3. So, all great knives. But the third prize in the best chef knife category goes to Jeff Harrison from McLeod in Victoria. Jeff says he's been making knives on and off for about 6 years, mostly doing chef knives, and now starting to learn about making folding knives. He's interested in aerospace and aviation, and tries to incorporate that into his making. And I definitely got that vibe judging this particular knife. It's a really nice chef knife made from 1227C. He's even named it Orbit to go with the theme. It's got sort of a forged textured look on the flats. And the handle is a frame tang design from Richlight and G10. And it's got an inner frame of resin scales cast from scans of the moon, made in the US, which is pretty wild. You can see that in some of the close-ups there if you look carefully. So the judges really liked this one, the clean lines, the attention to detail and the finish. There wasn't a lot to pick up on it critically, and a couple of judges suggested maybe adding some contouring to the handle if wanting to take it up another notch. But overall, not much to fault on this one, and it is a beautiful knife, and obviously it was very close.
This is what I love about this competition. Somebody made a moon knife. Somebody had a moon-themed knife, and I can't imagine anywhere else I would ever have got to see that. So thank you, Jeff. And I'd love to give you a prize. So the third prize for best chef knife is obviously a trophy of bragging rights, but also $100 worth of abrasives from 3M through our distributor Oztech Supplies. So 3M are some of the best abrasives around, and Sunil and his team at Oztech are very supportive of our community. And Sunil spent his weekend in August last year on our table at the Sydney Knife Show talking to knife makers about what they want to get out of their abrasives. So we're very grateful to Sunil and the team at 3M Oztech. With that second knife.
And the second prize in the best chef knife category goes to Yara Billings. Yara or Jara. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So Jara is a custom knife maker. Correct me in the comments if I'm way off with that. Is a custom knife maker from Tasmania, making under the name Jackal Blades. Jara especially likes making culinary knives and enjoys adding new elements to the knives. And doing things in new ways to learn more. On this chef knife, he's made it out of he or she, actually, I don't know that either. It's made it out of ABL stainless steel, for instance. The handle material is homemade carbon fiber scales with blue foil flakes added. That was also made by Jara, so that's pretty cool. And it's got G10 spacers and carbon fiber pins. The judges loved the clean lines on this one. Great execution, even smooth finish on the blade. A couple of judges mentioned how comfortable the handle looks and the general flow of the knife. And again, nothing too obvious to pick up on this knife, except maybe around the spine, a little bit more comfort there by rounding the spine over. Riley, what do we have for a prize here?
Oh, man. So, second prize in Best Chef Knife this year, Jared's taking a very cool prize from Northern Iron Forge. Nathan's making several different styles of forging hammers out of his forging. Might need some help here, guys. Deeragun, Queensland? Deeragun, Queensland. And Jared can pick their own style of hammer up to 4 pounds, which is a pretty great prize. I don't know how much forging they're currently doing in their making, but they'll be doing heaps now that they've got a custom hammer. So I sense there's one knife left in this category.
There certainly is, and it's the one we've been waiting for. The winner of the Best Chef Knife category is Nick Allen. So Nick Allen lives in South Australia, has been making knives since 2014, but still considers himself a bit of a beginner. In this last year, he says he's taken a new interest in knife making and he's now working up towards his entry knives for the guild. I'd say he's already there. The knife is forged leaf spring. It's a deep bladed Santoku with forge finish on the spines and satin bevels. The blade has a distal taper from 2.9 mil at the ricasso to about 0.15 mil where the bevels meet the spine, and a slightly convex edge. Noting how even the category was this year, I think the points total, I think was 0.3 difference that Nick has won this on. The judges were quite critical, but still scored this knife very highly. The excellent blade finish with satin bevels and highly polished choil show a high level of fit and finish, together with the flawless blade to handle fit and very elegant handle lines with some nice facets on there. From the photos, again, really hard to fault this knife, possibly other than the handle being just a touch short for the blade. But yeah, fantastic knife and deserving of a prize, Riley.
Absolutely. And the prize in this category is a $200 voucher towards hands-on workshop at Tharwa Valley Forge in Canberra. Oh, I know, right? And Tharwa is hands down the largest and probably longest running knife making and blacksmithing kind of school in Australia and probably in the Southern Hemisphere. They run an enormous array of classes and a number of really beautiful programs with different groups, and we're really happy to support them, and they're really happy to support us. So I hope
I learned how to make knives.
I think there was a theme through the notes from some of the makers in this year's awards that's where many of them had started, and I think it's really nice to kind of bookend that. So hopefully that's something that works out for our winner, Nick. Congratulations on being the first prize winner, and we'll get in touch with you to get you your trophy and your prize.
Will do.
All right. So, best in show. Time to put the hammer down. So the criteria here were much wider. Just wow the judges. Still needs to be a single edge. Still needs to be a fixed blade. But the blade length can be up to 500 mil, which is enormous. Which is why Ben Anderson always traditionally entered this category, because he can't make a short knife. This was the only category with someone from New Zealand this year, and it's awesome to see that as well. They're obviously very welcome, our friends from across the ditch. And the best knife in show category was one of the most popular again, with 13 knives entered. And due to the level of knives entered, they were scored very hard. The judges spending a bit of extra time to really separate out the top 3 knives. The competition was quite close. Of the 13 knives, 10 of them scored above 6 on average, which, as we know, is out of 8 in our scoring matrix. Kev.
Yes, indeed. And the third prize for the best in show goes to Ray Dennis from Maryland, New South Wales. Ray's only been making knives for 5 years, if you can believe it, and he's never sold a knife, but he's donated some to charity and given away some to friends and family. I would say that should change. Ray won third prize with a truly special knife here, made from 5 bars of Damascus of barbed wire and Turkish twists. He's turned that into a K-tip bunker with an integral bolster. The handle is from Mun ebony wood, heirloom fitted with a palm swell and flat sides for an ergonomic and comfortable handle. The blade is a C grind, so it's got the full flat grind on one side and a deep S grind on the other side for food release. Obviously, the judges scored this very highly on technical complexity, both for the integral and the Damascus layup, as well as consistency of finish, with very little to critique it on. It's a beautiful knife and well deserving of a spot on the podium. What does he get, Riley?
Wow, that's an incredible knife, and I've never seen anything like it.
The grinds on that thing were amazing.
Looking at that photo again on the big screen, it's just incredible. And Ray, if you're on the line, and that's the Maryland in the Hunter Valley, not the other one, look me up. We should catch up. That's an incredible thing. So the third prize for Best in Show this year is the new and improved Big Mert file guide from Nordic Edge. It's the original supersized file guide with screw-on carbides, Innovate, Don't Compensate, and a collaboration between Mert Tanzu from Tanzu Knives and Nordic Edge. In addition to that, he'll also get a trophy for his pool room. We only have 2 more knives to go today, but we did include another giveaway quiz for those of you in the comments. So stick around. As with every live stream, there will be some questions. You can win some prizes, but not until the end. Kev, second prize, Best in Show.
Second prize for Best in Show this year goes to the Guild's own Ambrose Volkovsky. Ambrose is definitely a rising star in the Aussie knife making scene, having made knives for only a couple of years. Last year, he entered the awards with his 22nd knife. And this year, the knife he entered is actually his 113th knife. So he's been very busy. As you can see, if you follow him on social media, it's fantastic, the different things that he's trying out at the moment. So as I mentioned, he's a probationary member of the Guild, working on his full membership. And with this level of craftsmanship, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of his work. The knife he won with here is a recurve Bowie in stainless RWL 34 with a full flat grind from 5mm thick spine to 0.3mm behind the edge. The guard is stainless steel, spacer is recessed and coin zirconium, with the sculpted handle being tiger myrtle with inlaid layers of fine silver, which is definitely the most impressive part for me. The judges love this knife, scoring it very high on overall impression and material selection, commenting on the beautiful design with flowing lines and good-looking angles. This one truly comes together in a knife. You just want to pick it up. And I did actually have a look at it at the Waterfall Road Hammering, and it is spectacular. One thing the judges noticed was the slight improvement that could be made to the guard to blade fit up for next time, but a small thing in the overall scheme of things. Well done, Ambrose. What does he get?
Oh, absolutely. And as Kev said, this is a beautiful knife. He's also an absolutely stand-up dude to spend a weekend with. I was also at Waterfall Road. He's a spot-on guy. And the prize for this category is a custom billet of steel from Jez at Oblivion Blades. It's a QMI billet made with a 52-100 core, copper, nickel, and 1020 cladding. This is almost a kilo of goodness. And I cannot wait to see this on your table at Sydney Ambrose.
No pressure.
Just down the barrel, my mate Ambrose. And thanks again to Jez, obviously, for sponsoring the awards and for bringing a lot of this specialty layered steel onshore and making it for the community here in Australia. So if my math's right, Kev, we've got one knife to go.
I wouldn't question your maths, Riley. And I think we're there. We need the drum roll. But the winner of this year's Best in Show is Jaden Ward with this beautiful takedown Bowie. Jaden's no stranger to the awards, having won the Best in Show second place back in 2022. And Jaden is another excellent maker who's never exhibited at a knife show, can you believe? But thinking about doing the Sydney show this year, so we hope we'll see more of his work in August. The takedown Bowie with a 9-inch blade is called The First because it's Jaden's first takedown knife. Includes parts of his first ever bronze casting, and it's the first time making a knife without cutting himself. An interesting fact there for those playing at home. The blade is in carbon W2 steel with stainless and bronze fittings. The blade is 238 long with overall length, and the knife being 395 mil. Overall, sorry. The spine thickness is 4.6 mil with the beautifully fitted handle being from Stabilized Murray from Otway Fiddleback. I think this is the only knife in the awards that scored above a 7 in every single judging criteria, scoring a near perfect score in consistency of finish and technical complexity, which is not an easy combination to pull off. This is a truly special build. The judges were very impressed, and again, this was really hard to fault. Only a couple of minor comments, more about different options for elements to come together without faulting it. And I remember saying this one, it's not always about the fancy materials, particularly when it comes to the criteria for assessing knives. The cleanliness and the fit and finish on every aspect of this knife is what really set it apart. And Jaden should be really, really proud. Great job.
That's the one I was talking about. It was amazing, the fit up, the complexity of it, and he's still calling himself a beginner. I was like, blown away. Really nice knife.
Sorry, Jane, you've lost your beginner title, mate. You're going to have to leave that one behind. And it's an incredible knife, and I just like to give him at least a 7 for his photographs as well, because as nice as that knife is, the photographs are as nice or nicer. And that's an area that I feel like I can speak on with some authority. So, yeah.
If ever there was a good case in point for taking good photographs, helping you score, that one where he's broken down the handle components. I don't know if we got a shot of that to put up on screen, but geez, that's a cracking photo. It was, almost got extra points just because you could see absolutely everything. Brilliant.
Absolutely. And I mean, what do we think of this knife? Given that it's our best knife of the awards this year, is there anything else you guys wanted to call out?
His consistency was bang on. Like, there was not a scratch. The fit and finish was pretty much perfect. Like, I couldn't fault it really. Like, you could put some extra bling on it, but that's about all I reckon you could do to make it any better.
I think it's a really good base for people to think about what makes a really good knife. Like, yes, you could have had the guard or the spacers in Damascus or whatever, or the blade in something more special, but it doesn't change the fundamental fit and finish, the way the pieces come together. And if you concentrate on making all your knives with that focus on just, treating the materials with the respect and making sure things are symmetrical and even and well finished, you can add to it and make it better and better with fancier materials, but that base is what really sets your knives apart, regardless of what they're made out of.
Absolutely. That's that excellent advice to just keep making the knife over and over and over again and get your fundamentals down. And so I know Jaden said in his spiel that he was considering doing Sydney show, and I would ask him, would you consider doing Sydney show if Nordic Edge was paying for your tape? Because you've just won a table at any show in Australia you choose to exhibit at, whether that's the Guild show in Melbourne, although that's next week, or any of the KEA shows, or the Canberra show for that matter in December.
Unfortunately, the Melbourne show is a little tight on room. So it
Yeah.
might have to be next year if that's his choice. But
It depends how many knives he's got. He could sit with us. But looking at my watch, there are 3 tables left for Sydney. So if you want to come to Sydney show, smash an email through to Andrew Quicksmart. But certainly our first prize in Best in Show is always a table at any show at which you want to exhibit. Obviously paid for by Nordic Edge.
Fantastic prize, and we hope you take it up. The last thing we have tonight before we close off the awards for this year is the giveaway quiz. As always, there are some questions, and whoever we see first in the comments on our dashboard is the winner. And there has been a little bit of a delay the last couple of weeks, so we may take a little while to yell out the answer, but just give us a second. We'll pick the first name we see. Now it works is simple. We ask a question, and whoever answers first will win the prize. What do we have, Riley?
All right, so for giveaway tonight, we have 4 more prizes donated by Nordic Edge. The last official awards contender shirt, your choice of color. There's a stainless steel knife maker combo, a hunting knife kit with a blade and handle materials, and a $100 gift voucher for Nordic Edge. So our first giveaway is that last 2024 contender shirt. The question, and if you're playing for the first time, a lot of the questions came up in the live stream. But the question is, how many entries did Best Beginner Outdoor Knife category have this year? And it was tied with another category. I'll give you that for free.
And if no one knows, just keep bashing numbers until someone gets the right one.
The total number of entries was 40. So don't guess more than 40. We'll see what they say.
This is where we have the delay.
On the Jumbotron over here. All right. Russell Cooper. Crushed it.
There we go.
All right. Got that second one, Kev?
Yes, I do. Oh, actually, hang on. Have you got Russell Cooper? Because I got someone different on mine.
Well, I called it out loud. So
actually, hang on the YouTube one. It is Russell Cooper. You are quite right.
It's on the live stream now. It's not a lot we can do.
Yeah, no, it is. It's funny on our little screen. It shows up slightly differently. But Russell, you're the winner. Second question tonight. The second giveaway prize is a knife maker combo consisting of a bar of 14C28N steel, Juma gem handle scales in cyan, and a carbon fiber pin stock. So you got yourself a knife waiting to happen. The question, and again, first answer we will take. There's a knife show in Melbourne on the 8th and 9th of June. What is the venue of that knife show this year?
You can probably tell them what city it's in.
It's in the Melbourne. Did I say that already? Sorry, I said Melbourne, didn't I? It's in Melbourne, 8th and 9th of June.
Melbourne Knife Show, Riley.
This will be interesting to see who has been reading the posts.
It's a new venue.
Yeah, don't guess the airport.
And hot tip, if you're scrambling for an answer, go and search
Matthew Will Donaldson, and I bet he's exhibiting. That's why he knows.
There we go. Yes. Yeah, he's got it. Matt Donaldson. Congratulations.
Anyone thinking about coming along to the Melbourne Knife Show, do. Chris and I will be there. Come hang out.
Yeah, should be a great show. Well done, Matt. And
so, our third giveaway this season is a knife kit consisting of a blade, handle material, and pin stock. It's a stainless steel hunting style knife with a collar guard and a pin to fit, as well as some walnut scales to drill for the handle pin, glue and shape as per kit knife making. Here's your question. After hardening a blade, we temper it to make it a useful knife. What is the trade-off where we give up some hardness to increase the toughness of the blade? This is the trade-off, not what is the trade-off. Don't tell me. If you temper two identical blades at two different temperatures, This is like one of those train problems. One at 170 degrees and one at 220 degrees. Which of those blades will hold an edge longer? The one tempered at 170 degrees or the one tempered at 220 degrees?
It's really a 50-50.
Who's in first?
Not even really that.
There are people answering the question I asked.
Love
To
the
start
delay
with,
coming through.
yeah.
Trying to anticipate the answers there from you people.
Russell, I'm not giving you 2 prizes, mate. It'll go to the second person. I think it's Dane. Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
I've got, so on my screen, I can see Stefan.
Stefan?
Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah.
But he's got it wrong.
220?
Stefan's
So
got it
it would be-
wrong.
Oh, sorry, he said 220. Sorry, I was looking at the name. No, you're dead right. It's Dane.
Dane
All
Stanley.
right. All right, we'll sort that out. Now, the fourth and I would say most utilitarian prize.
Yes. Is a $100 gift voucher for Nordic Edge, the fantastic sponsors of the awards. Now, again, this question has already been answered tonight earlier on. Who sponsored the folding knife kit prize for the winner of the best knife from kit category? Who is the maker / brand who sponsored that prize? We got anyone yet?
Should work on a new slogan.
He is a well-known etcher of very cool designs on things. There we go. We got answers now.
Yeah. Rings of Cringe. Do you want to sing out with some other way to identify you? Because you've won a prize. And unless the postman knows where you are, you're going to have to tell us who you are.
Rings of Cringe. It's great. There's some good handles in this chat.
Oh, man. That is the best part about YouTube, right?
Yes,
People
indeed.
are just logged into their account and they forget what they called it.
Oh, yeah. So,
All right. Just email Bjorn if you don't want to identify yourself in public.
Could be a bit pinky.
Just post your street address in the chat. No, don't. It's fine.
kind of makes it look like Bjorn is Rings of Cringe there.
He's won his own gift card. Just like, sorted that out handily.
No, I'm sure.
Oh, all right. That's all we have for 2024, folks. A massive thank you to the people who made it possible. Tharwood Valley Forge, 84 Engineering, Northern Iron Forge, Rodhor Knife Images, On the Mark Engraving, Oblivion Blades, the Australian Knife Makers Guild, Heimdall and Freya Traditional Leathercraft, Smoko Design, 3M and Oztech Abrasives, as well as, let's just say, the Guild a second time.
Again, it's in the script. We can do it twice. And the big one, to Nordic Edge, of course, wouldn't happen without hard work, particularly of Bjorn behind the scenes, is running everything as we speak tonight, as well as Riley. And of course, the real thing that makes the competition work is all of you. So thanks to all of the makers for taking part, as well as everyone else who's been watching the streams. I hope they've been mildly entertaining. And of course, Tony, thank you for taking the time out to join us tonight as a guest. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully people got something out of it.
And just to put you on the spot, Tony,
Yeah,
there's someone in the comments asking why tempering at a lower temperature is better for edge retention. And I don't know. So I'm hoping one of you can tell him.
Why lower temperature? It's better for edge retention because it's harder.
Yeah. So the higher temperature will take more hardness out of the blade.
So you're going to have a
and a
tougher
lower
knife at the higher temperature at 220. And at 170, it's going to be a harder blade, but it'll be more brittle.
There we go. See?
That makes
State rep.
sense.
Nailed it.
particularly on a knife. On an axe, if you were tempering a lot lower, you might have some difficulties with edge retention if you're chipping, but for a knife, definitely you want, particularly for the kitchen, lower temperatures will keep it for longer.
Yeah, if
And
you're
I
doing
reckon-
a Bowie or something like that, you always temper it a bit higher, so you got that bit more toughness to the blade.
Yeah.
I reckon that's
I
everything
think-
we've got, guys. And remember, sing out to your state rep. Join the guild if you feel like you want to. Buy from Nordic Edge. See you in Melbourne.
See you next year, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.